I'll tell them that we did that. It's just okay. Welcome everybody to the Board of County Commissioners meeting for March the 18th. We did have some technical difficulties right at the beginning. We did our prayer, we did our pledge, but unfortunately the internet is giving us trouble today. We did get down through item 4 before we lost our connection. We are going to redo items 1 through 4 just in case, because we're not exactly sure what did get transmitted before we lost internet connection. So we will redo items 1 through 4 to make sure that everything is public, and hopefully we won't run into any more problems. We weren't able to identify exactly what happened with our transmission. Technology is wonderful, as we always say, when it works. So we will redo items 1 through 4. We did already do our pledge, as I mentioned, and our prayer, and we are going to redo 1 through 4. So with that, we need a motion to approve the minutes of March the 11th, 2021.
I'll make the motion.
I will vacate the chair to second that motion.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman? In the matter request for appropriation of funds,
Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 2? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 3? Hearing none.
I'll make the motion to accept.
I will go ahead.
And I'll second.
Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman? Mr. Davis?
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation transfer of funds,
Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 4? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT winter contract for road salt regarding the Scioto County Engineering Department.
Item 5 is a authorization to participate in the collective winter contract for salt that the county engineer participates in order to get a better price. Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 5? Hearing none.
I will make the motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
In the matter of letter of agreement that the Scioto County Commissioners agree to pay for engineering and cost overruns regarding the Purty Acres and West Portsmouth sewer plant improvements regarding USDA.
This particular item is in regards to the sewer projects that are going on in the county right now, particularly at Purty Acres, which is Ashley Corner, and the West Portsmouth plant. Been working on this for, seems like forever now, getting all this paperwork done for all the grants and everything else. But basically what this says is that if there are cost overruns beyond the loan or the engineering costs, that we will pick up the difference on that. Don't expect a big difference, and don't ask me for a dollar figure, because that's unknown at this time, and there's no way to know that. But if any, it should be minimal. I've talked to our sanitary engineer, and he feels very confident in that issue. Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 6? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
In the matter request for Ohio Rural Development to review bid tab and issue notice to bidder regarding the Purty Acres and West Portsmouth sewer plant improvements.
This particular item is the request to review the bid tab for the notice of award. And this is a request for I'm going to read it. Ohio Rural Development to review bid tabs and issue notice to bidder for the Purty Acres and West Portsmouth sewer plant improvements. Are there any questions or comments in regards to this particular item? Hearing none.
I will move that we approve.
And I'll second.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
In the matter of approving fiscal year 2020 Appalachian Development Program grant agreement,
This particular item is in regards to the $250,000, the grant agreement for the sanitary sewer service in Scioto County. Yes, that's a third sewer project that's going to be undergone. This particular project, the $250,000 will support the project to support Pure Cycle, which is going in down at the Haverhill Hill Franklin Furnace Industrial Corridor. This will extend 30,000 linear feet of 8-inch sanitary sewer, an associated lift station, and serve one business, which is Pure Cycle, with other businesses that could potentially come on board as well in the future. 49 jobs will be created and 18 retained. Total project costs are $4,152,000, which includes $3.9 million in matching funds. Work to be completed by February 28, 2023. Any questions or comments in regards to item 8? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of financing term sheet between the Southern Ohio Port Authority as issuer and Scioto County, Ohio as obligator for non-tax revenue pledge, taxable series 2021 special obligation revenue bonds regarding the airport building project.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 9? Hearing none.
Move that we approve.
And I'll second.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of United States Department of Agriculture Statement of Budget, Income, and Equity regarding the Sanitary Engineering Department.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 10? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of Ohio refunding bonds between Dinsmore and Shoal LLP and Scioto County regarding conflict of interest waiver.
On item 11, we have been working for several weeks now in regards to refinancing several of our long-term bonds. And some of those are further out than others. We have done quite a bit of research utilizing a firm to look at those numbers and have determined that it looks like on the surface by refinancing the county could save just south of $1 million by refinancing at this time. Long-term debt, $1 million. So in order to do that, we contacted our bond counsel, which is Dinsmore and Shoal. They have worked with the other company we've been working with on other projects. They wanted to make sure we understood that there was no conflict of interest and that we understood that there was a consent to waive if there was, so that they can work together to get this done and get this started. It's a process. It's going to take several weeks to do this, but it will ultimately save the money that the county would be spending, which ultimately saves the taxpayers' money. So we're starting down that path. Like I said, it's going to take some time, but this actually waives that conflict of interest so they can work together and get this done for us, two very reputable companies, and going to work very well for the citizens of Scioto County. Are there any questions or comments in regards to that letter?
I mean, the only comment is, interest rates are starting to go up, so the quicker we
Right.
can accomplish this, the better off we'll be and the more savings we will
And
see.
that's the idea, sir, and that's what we're doing. I think this will bode very well for the county. We have some loans out there that are or bonds out there that are just higher than they should be, and now is the time to get it done. And they are going to move fast, sir. They really are. They realize the time is of the essence. It's very hard to read the bond markets. It really is. You listen, and when you listen to the Treasury Secretary, 1 minute saying we're not going to raise, and then the next minute they do anyways. It's interesting to watch, and you just don't know. But I think the bottom has been hit. I think we're there, and we're going to have to move now, and that's what we're doing. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none.
With that, I will move that we approve.
And I will second.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of Child Support Enforcement Agency 4D contract with Domestic Relation Court.
This is a contract between Job and Family Services and Domestic Court. Contract with Domestic Relations Court for magistrate services. This is for child support enforcement, support staff and related costs related to these cases, effective February 1st, 2021 through January 31st, 2022, and that particular contract is $302,216.55. Are there any other questions or comments in regards to this contract? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of Scioto County Coordinated Transit Plan regarding 2020 through 2025.
Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 13? Hearing none?
I move that we approve.
And I'll second.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then and now certificates in the total amount of $904,816.63.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 14? Hearing none?
Make a motion to approve.
I will second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of letter of support regarding Compass Community Health Mobile Services.
This particular item is, I believe, have they applied or they are applying for a grant, Mr. Powell?
Yeah, so part of their requirements and their funding, when they look to expand services, they have to have letters of support for this new service. This service, they are looking at adding mobile health services out in the county to help with whether it be vaccinations or testing or anything else. So they're looking to reach some of our underserved populations, which I think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, I think the rural, remote areas of our community could definitely benefit from it, especially, and I know that that's one of their goals, is to include the rural routes, further out communities. Totally get that, and, not, our hospitals don't have healthcare centers everywhere. They do in several communities, but not everywhere, and this may make up for some of that slack. So, are there any other questions in regards to this letter of support? Hearing none?
I move that we approve the letter.
I'll second.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution providing additional funding to the Scioto County Prosecutor's Office regarding Children's Services Board representation in abuse, neglect, and dependency legal proceedings.
Okay, on this particular item, this is something we have been working on for a while, and something that we've been trying to figure out exactly how we was going to do it, and working between the Commissioner's Office, Children's Services, the Board of Children's Services Director, Jason Mantell, the Prosecutor's Office, and Mr. Tiemann and his staff. We have determined how we would do that, and at this time, I would, if it's okay with you, Jason, I would really like for you to take a moment to explain maybe where we're at. I think the community needs to have a really good understanding of where we're at with our number of children in custody, and what we're trying to achieve here. I think, go ahead and speak to that if you don't mind. I think this is we're trying to get ahead of it, and we need to get ahead of this. And if you wouldn't mind, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jason Mantell. He is our Director of our Children's Services, and Jason, if you would mind, go ahead and do that.
Thank you very much. So, first of all, just before I get started into what Brian asked me to explain, thank you to all three commissioners, to Mr. Tiemann and his entire office, our board, which is comprised of 10 members. And again, this is something that has been needed. To Brian's point, we've had a lot of discussions between the commissioners, prosecutor's office, our board. I've been involved with all of that, and so I think I'm probably the only person who's been involved in every conversation, and so that's why I felt it very important for me to come here today and just give a public thank you, because it is something we need. In the approximate 8.5 months that I've worked at the agency, we have taken many more children into custody than we already had. We were, I guess, overloaded is a word that we use a lot. We were when I arrived in the middle of the summer, and it has continued. So we are right now just in the area of 340 total children. And if you talk to anyone from the state level, from ODJFS, excuse me, they will tell you, we're considered a medium-sized county, and we are approaching numbers of a metro community or a metro county. We're the only county our size who is remotely close to us has over 130 less children in custody. And it's an amazing challenge for our employees, obviously for the commissioners, for law enforcement. I mean, it's a big challenge, and fortunately, we've been able to work very well together with a lot of community agencies and entities and law enforcement to improve. But the problem is, and to Mr. Davis's point, he's mentioned several times, we've addressed the problem, but it continues to grow. And part of the reason is because, between juvenile court and children's services, the backlog is just significant. Right now, we have a part-time attorney who's been with us for a very long time, does a very good job in the courtroom, but he is overloaded. So this opportunity brings the full support of the commissioners and Mr. Tieman's office, which is, obviously loaded with a lot of experts in the area of law when it comes to child abuse, neglect, dependency, and it's going to help diminish the amount of cases that our caseworkers have to hold. And obviously, we'll work with Judge Lemons and his magistrate in order to diminish these cases as quickly as possible. But again, it will take time, and this is the first step in really diminishing and lowering those numbers. And I want to be clear that when we say close cases safely. And the closure of some cases means passing on to permanent custody, in which we'll work on adoption, or potentially, if it's an older child, work them into a program to help them into successful adulthood. So I think when people hear closed cases, I think it kind of lends to people to think that, well, you're just closing and moving on. No, it could be reunification. It could be adoption. It could be, again, transition for older children into the world. And it could be custody into the home of a loving, caring family member who may not be a biological parent, but may be able to provide that child a loving and forever home. So this is something that, again, is very, very much needed. We've worked with the state level, we worked with the county level, and I am extremely appreciative of the generosity shown by the commissioners, by Mr. Tieman's office, by our board, and the time and effort that's been put into this. So I thank you very much, and I appreciate the time that you've allowed me to speak this morning.
Jason, thank you for coming, by the way, and for considering this important to be here. I know you're busy. I know your schedule is crazy, and thank you for coming. With the numbers, Jason had alluded to the numbers increasing. When we were on the phone the other day with ODJFS, we were talking about how the 2019 numbers were 219, and today we're sitting at 340. If my numbers are correct, that's a 36% increase. It's just crazy to be able to see these increases. So unfortunately, it's a problem with the opioid epidemic that we're dealing with. We're dealing with broken lives. We're dealing with mental health issues. We're dealing with a lot of families that are broken, and these situations are not easy. They're very difficult to deal with. And when you're dealing with adults that don't want to be adults, in some cases, that are wrapped in the throes of addiction or having other issues, our children are the ones that are taking it on the chin. And we've got to get these children in safe conditions. This is one way to do it. This is a commitment from the general fund to do this. We are in a position to do so, to do this. So we are going to, once we vote on this, but I feel strongly that we need to do this, to do our best to process and get children in safe homes, get them in a loving environment to where they can flourish and grow. And this is one way to facilitate and move this faster and more efficient. And again, echoing what Jason said, we can't do any of this without the assistance of the Children's Services Board and the Prosecutor's Office. And we are glad to be part of this. And hope that, our hope is that we will see a great, a great increase of adoptions and you know, other permanent custody type situations, and that these children will be safer, faster. Let's put it that way. So, with that, are there any questions in regards to what we're talking about here?
I'll just add that, you know, I had the opportunity to join the Children's Services Board on Tuesday. The board clearly is passionate about helping solve this problem. And, you know, we've had multiple conversations, and as Jason mentioned, currently it's a part-time attorney trying to fill this influx of children that need, you know, through the system, and it doesn't fix the whole system, but it helps.
Right.
It helps quite a bit when we can start reducing that caseload. So, you know, for the community's awareness, we're going from a part-time attorney to what I'm looking at as an investment into the problem, as, you know, providing Shane with the additional attorney, full-time attorney, but then also a secretary that can also help with some of that work. And the full power of the prosecutor's office. So it's been good to see the three entities working together: the commissioners, the Children's Services Board, yourself, Jason, and then also Shane Tiemann. So I'm hopeful that we'll see that number start dropping, and then that we can start, you know, whittling away at that caseload, so we can give the attention to the children that you know need it. So
The other nice thing here, and as far as efficiencies, that we have talked with Mr. Tiemann about, our prosecutor, is that this attorney would be located right next to our Special Victims Unit offices as well. And unfortunately, some of these children fall into that realm, and you're going to have these employees, your investigators, your prosecutors, your attorneys are going to be in the same area working. They're going to be in the same building, same floor, working together. So there's going to be efficiencies that are going to be realized, I think, and that doesn't take anything away from what's been done in the past. What we're saying is we are adding in order to be better, to move faster, to get things done. And let's hope and pray that this all works out. But we have to do something, and we feel like this is the most logical approach. We've studied this, we've worked on this, we've talked about this, and it's now time to act. So with that, if there's no questions or comments.
I will make a motion to adopt.
and I will gladly second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye. Okay. All right. With that, thank you, Jason. Thank you, everyone. For questions, I'm sorry, Mrs. Coleman, would you have anything else?
Nothing at this time, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Powell?
Best of luck to New Boston. They're going Final Four. I know
Yeah.
they're seeing the team off today at, I want to say 1:30.
Yeah.
Don't
bus.
quote me on that.
Charter bus.
It's exciting. First time in 60 years, I think.
Yes, 1960, actually 61, I guess. But
So,
1960 was their last trip to the Final Four, in which they won, I think.
So
they won.
congratulations to this point to Coach Cox and the boys and then the whole team there, and continued success. We'd love to see him bring it home.
I wore a red tie today in honor of Glenwood. I did. But yes, way to go. And I told him yesterday, I said, now finish it.
That's right.
Now finish it. And they're 2 wins away from the whole thing. So let's everybody get behind. Everybody's a Glenwood Tiger today.
That's right.
All right? So, all right. With that, items on the agenda. Ryan?
We only have one question, it appears, on the agenda, and I think Jason will be able to answer this one. It's
Okay.
about CPS. From Patrick Keck, how many children, on average, are under the care of a caseworker in Scioto? I recall it being above the state recommended average of 10 to 15.
Okay, so we have different departments. I think what Patrick's probably referring to is our ongoing department, which is after there's an investigation and we've accepted a child into our custody, they go on to ongoing for a longer term So with that, we are well beyond. The recommendation from the state is to keep it between 10 and 15 if possible. We are around 30. We have some of our more veteran caseworkers, and by veteran, I want to be clear, we don't have caseworkers who have been with us at this point. We've had some retirements before I arrived, but our veteran caseworkers of 2 to 3 years have caseloads of pushing 40. Some of our newer workers, it's a little skewed, the average, because our newer workers can't just have a caseload day one. But for the ongoing workers who are currently carrying a caseload, it is right around 30, low 30s, which is just excessive. And again, that's why this is so important, because it will give our current attorney, once this is established, our current attorney an opportunity to work on cases that, again, have become just backlogged, for lack of a better phrase. And I know I'm giving a very long answer, but I want Patrick to be able to have as much information as possible when he reports this. But it's, we're double or triple what's recommended. And we're not the only county in that, but we're about as high as you get when it comes to averages.
Yeah. There's a lot of variables that play into that, we know, but this is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. And that's important for this. We're doing what we can do, and then there's other budgetary restraints within the Children's Services system. And one of the issues is and I'm thinking I even read this in the Daily Times one time, is that, the state of Ohio still is very, very, very behind in funding children's services compared to other states. I don't know where we rank today, but at one time we ranked 50th. And the state of Ohio has a lot of work to do at the state level to support children's initiatives. The budget that was proposed to the legislature and is out there for approval does that, but not enough, really, overall, but it is an improvement. So let's hope that proposal stays intact in the legislature, because the Children's Services Boards, the operations, they need it at the local level badly. So we'll see what happens. Any other questions?
One more from Patrick Keck. Have the commissioners had any discussions on how to use the county's stimulus package?
Great question. No, we haven't. It is an incredible amount of money that we have received some initial correspondence on. We have not delved into all the restrictions yet. There's 4 main restrictions, but just speaking from experience, we've always found that you have 4 and then you have a whole lot of stuff beneath it. So when we actually receive correspondence stating that money is coming for sure, it's coming. It's just when. Once it's deposited, then we will start looking at that and really starting to come up with plans. We're looking at 3 years to spend on that, and right now we have not. Just the short answer is we have not. There are a lot of needs, and we will take our time and we will plan accordingly and look at what would benefit the community the most. What's incredible about that is, Portsmouth's getting every village, every city, every township, you name it, everybody is getting something, and we just have to really look at the whole picture and see. So I know that's not a great answer, but it is really just something we are just now starting to get an idea and get our heads wrapped around. So we'll be doing that soon.
And I think the good news of what Brian said is we do have 3 years. It has to be spent by the end of '24.
Yes.
So to expect us to just come out and spend all the money at once, I think that's unrealistic. I think as good stewards, it will be my recommendation that we try to slow roll that into the most critical items that we can.
Yeah, and 3 of the stipulations are in reference to COVID. So, we have to be very smart, and that speaks to what Commissioner Powell was saying is, It looks like that COVID our numbers are improving, our sickness, people in the hospitals, ICUs are improving. The governor made reference yesterday. I know Patrick was there. There's a great question as far as how much longer do you think it'll be before you can open Ohio up? I thought that was a great question. And the governor actually had a pretty good answer on that. He said, given the current numbers and given the current rate of cases dropping, 7 weeks is what he said. But he's like, that is all contingent upon things heading in the direction that they're heading in, and we need to be very careful. And then we also need to plan for the future. Coronavirus is not going to ultimately 100% go away. It is a virus, and we may be dealing with coronavirus on a much more limited basis, hopefully. We could be dealing with it for some time. We could have limited cases every now and then. So we have to plan accordingly for that. We have to do what's right. And I like your words as far as being good stewards. We have to really watch what we're doing. But we'll look at ideas. I'm sure that the County Commissioners Association of Ohio, in sharing the needs between counties as far as what other counties are doing, ideas, we've done that all along. There's a really good collaborative effort there behind county commissioners across the state of Ohio bouncing ideas off each other and how to do certain things and how to get the most bang for your buck, basically, and that will happen. That will occur. So we have a lot of opportunity, and we'll see what happens.
Brian, for the sake of the public, will you tell them the amount of the stimulus package?
The preliminary amount that we have heard from 2 different sources now, very reputable sources, the Ohio Municipal League as well as the National Association of Counties, is $14.6 million. Is it 8? I wasn't sure. It's an astounding amount of money. But it has restrictions, and that will be the tough part, is trying to figure out how that money can be spent. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll cross that bridge, and we'll start crossing that bridge relatively soon. We have a lot going on in Scioto County right now. It is incredible to me, really, and if I could opine for just a second, the number of infrastructure projects that are going on, the work going on out at the business park, out at the airport, the grants and just the sheer number of, with the CDBG, applying for grants as we did with the water, with the kayaking the other day. There's a lot of things going on, and it requires a lot of attention from a lot of people. And with some of the changes, of course, we've got projects ongoing in the courthouse here, remodeling projects. It is just, it is astounding, the amount of work that's going on right now throughout. Road projects, the engineer is going to have a wild, crazy summer. The sanitary engineer is going to have an incredibly busy summer and fall. So it's going to be, we got a lot going on, and we will take this in stride and make good decisions for the county, and we're excited that we're going to be able to do even more. So, okay. Is that it? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for attending the meeting. If there's nothing more.
Off agenda questions?
We did off the agenda, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, so we're good. All right. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
And I will second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
All right.